Did you know that every time you say yes to something you don't actually want to do, you are automatically saying no to yourself? Just think about that for a second. That's time, energy, and peace that you are completely giving away. And if you have ever felt guilty turning someone down, or if you had said yes just to avoid conflict, or maybe you've walked away from a situation thinking, why did I agree to that? Know that you are not alone. So here's the good news. By the end of this video, you are going to understand why it feels so hard to say no, how your body and brain are wired to people please, and I will give you 5 practical strategies to say no with confidence without completely drowning in guilt. I'm also going to share a mindset shift that completely shifted the way that I approach to saying no. And once you hear it, I promise you will never see no in the same way again. Hi, my name is Nina Elise, and I am an embodiment and growth mentor, a somatic practitioner, and a human design coach. I help high-achieving women regulate their nervous systems, release people-pleasing, and finally feel safe being themselves. If you are tired of saying yes to everyone else while abandoning yourself, make sure that you hit subscribe so that you don't miss future videos that help you create a life of peace and freedom and joy. All right. Let's dive in. Let me start with this. I have an open heart center in human design. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means that you have the potentiality to deeply care about people's expectations, judgments, and approval. And for most of my life, I had no idea how much that affected my ability to say no. I used to automatically say yes to everything. So dinner invitations, last minute favors, work projects I did not have time for, even when my whole body was just screaming at me, please, I just want to rest. And the reason I kept saying yes was because I didn't want people to think less of me. So I was basically just terrified that they would reject me or judge me or think I wasn't helpful enough, which meant that I wouldn't be a good friend. So here's a quick example. A couple years ago, a friend invited me to a weekend event. And at the time, I was going through something, I was super exhausted, and I really needed downtime, but I felt so guilty even thinking about saying no. And I almost went just to avoid disappointing her. And things really shifted in that moment. So when I messaged her, I let her know that I wasn't feeling 100%, that I really wanted to go. I supported her event, but I just needed to take care of myself first. So in that moment, I was able to communicate my needs while also letting her know that I still valued her and our relationship. And when I did this, I was able to finally fully relax, and there was no resentment or guilt that would have lasted me for days if I had actually said yes. So that was a really big turning point, and it's something that I am still practicing. So saying no with honesty and compassion without abandoning myself. So let's talk about why this is so hard in the first place. I see 3 main reasons. The first is unconscious conditioning. So from the time that we are kids, we are taught that saying yes makes us good. So good daughter, good student, good employee. And somewhere along the way, we learn that no equals rejection. So our brain equates yes with safety and no with danger. And the truth is that most of the scenarios we are in as adults are not life-threatening. So saying no to helping with a project or skipping a dinner party, it is not going to destroy your relationships. It is simply just your nervous system reacting as if you are still that child trying to keep everyone happy. The next is nervous system wiring. So when you are stuck in fight or flight, your body will say yes just to avoid conflict. It's so wild. And it feels easier in the moment, but that constant stress builds up over time. And over time, it leads to burnout, health problems, and even resentment towards people you actually love. And lastly, lack of boundaries with yourself. So if you don't respect your own needs, no one else will, because you're constantly teaching people how to treat yourself. And boundaries really just start internally. So saying no isn't about rejecting someone else. It's about saying yes to your health, to your family, your peace of mind, and your priorities. And here is a surprising fact. So research shows people spend over 200 hours a year on commitments that they secretly resent. 200 hours. That is 5 full work weeks completely gone. So can you imagine what you could do with that time if you felt safe saying no? Now, let's get into the good stuff. Here are 5 practical steps to start saying no without guilt. Step 1, pause before answering. So instead of reacting, give yourself space. So you can say something like, let me check my calendar and I will get back to you. That pause alone interrupts your autopilot people pleasing and allows you to explore different responses without pressure. Step 2, use simple language. You do not owe anyone a 10-minute explanation or a TED Talk that justifies why you do or do not do something. You are not responsible for other people's interpretations or assumptions, especially when you have clearly communicated. So practice saying things like, I'm not able to commit to that right now, or I appreciate you asking, but I have other commitments. Short, simple, clear, and kind. Step 3 is to anchor in your values and your human design. So you can ask yourself questions like, does this align with my energy, my values? And for me, checking my human design has been huge. So if something feels really heavy in my body, that is usually a sign it's not a true yes with my inner authority, or I just don't have clarity in that moment. So by tapping into my inner authority, I am able to make more aligned decisions that don't leave me feeling burnt out as a manifester or just resentful in the long run. Step 4 is reframe guilt as growth. This is a big one. So that guilt that you feel is not proof that you are selfish. It is proof that you are breaking old patterns. So of course, it is going to feel off or weird. You are literally rewiring your brain and your nervous system. So that discomfort is actually the doorway to freedom and the biggest indicator that you are doing something right. And last but not least, step 5, offer alternatives without overcommitting. So sometimes you want to help, but maybe not in the way that someone else has asked. So you can say, hey, I can't help this weekend, but I would love to support in another way. And that way you can honor your limits without abandoning your generosity, and it also honors your mental, emotional, or physical needs in that moment. And finally, here's the reframe that changed everything for me. Every time I say no to someone else, I am saying yes to myself. Yes to my rest. Yes to my health. Yes to showing up better for the people I actually want to serve. And if someone pushes back when you say no, that is not proof that you are wrong. It is proof that that other person was benefiting from your lack of boundaries. And those people are typically users, and that is not really a friend that you wish to have, right? And I know that can be such a hard pill to swallow, but the question that you really want to ask yourself is this: would I rather disappoint someone for a moment or disappoint myself for a lifetime? If you look back on your life, say you're like 80 years old on your deathbed, are you going to look back on that moment and be like, wow, I'm so glad I did that? Or are you going to be happy that you chose something that actually compounded the benefit of your health and your stress levels that led to a healthier life? So let me leave you with this. What is one area of your life where you have been saying yes when your whole body wanted to say no? Can you allow yourself to imagine how it would feel to say no and the positive implications it would have on your life? Why would you not want to give that to yourself? So here's the thing. You can do all of this on your own. You can practice saying no, regulating your nervous system, journaling about your boundaries, but sometimes the self-doubt and uncertainty can feel super overwhelming. And that is where support matters. If you're ready to actually implement this into your life, my one-on-one mentorship is where we dive deep into nervous system regulation, boundaries, and rewiring people pleasing. You can apply in the link right here on the screen and below in the description. And if you just want to start small, you can also just download my embodied self blueprint. It will help you understand exactly why you struggle with saying no and guide you into creating boundaries that feel safe and empowering. I'm going to close with this. Saying no is like putting down a backpack of bricks that you have been carrying for years. It may feel heavy in the moment, but the second that you set it down, you wonder why you waited so long. So, what has helped you say no? Share in the comments below because I would love to hear. And if this resonated, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. And make sure you watch my next video, How to Stop Taking Things Personally, because it ties directly into breaking free from people pleasing. I will see you all in the next video.